Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is December 6th, 2025. And reports stating that Cesc Fabregas is interested in coaching FC Barcelona. Also, Harry Kane trying to convince a Barcelona target to sign for Bayern Munich. And finally, Fistnik Aslani discussing the possibility of signing for the club. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo. We'll begin this video with the news that today Barcelona defeated Real Betis 3-5 at the Villamarino. Actually, no, they're playing at a different stadium right now. The same stadium as the Copa del Rey final. Anyways, irrelevant. But Barcelona defeated Real Betis 3-5 today with a hat trick by Ferran Torres, who now reclaims his nickname as Fergoat or as the Shark, and also by goals of Lamine Yamal and Rooney Bardghji. By the way, I did a post-match live analysis, so if you want to hear my detailed thoughts and opinions about today's match, make sure to check out that video. Now, let's look at the La Liga standings, because today, after Barcelona's victory over Real Betis, they now have 47 points. Sorry, 40 points, not 47 points, 40 points, with Real Madrid being in second place with 36 points, 4 points behind Barcelona. But of course, tomorrow, Real Madrid have to play against Celta Vigo. So we'll see what Real Madrid will do tomorrow. Then we have Villarreal in third place with 35 points, Atletico Madrid with 31 points, and Real Betis all the way down to 24 points. Now, the silver linings from today's match, not that we need silver linings, because Barcelona defeated Real Betis, completely manhandled Real Betis. Again, thoughts and opinions are in the post-match live analysis. But Fermin Lopez played some minutes today, which means he's fit. He's good to go. He had some minutes, so most likely he will be available to start against Eintracht Frankfurt in the Champions League. And of course, also Marc Bernal getting some minutes. That was really cool, because I really think Marc Bernal is the future of Barcelona's midfield, and I cannot wait for him to be fully back and fully fit. All right, on to the next bit of news, because, ladies and gentlemen, reports from sources close to Cesc Fabregas stating that he would be interested in coaching FC Barcelona. Now, Cesc Fabregas is currently having some good success with Cuomo. I mean, he did get him promoted to the Serie A. And they're saying that now Cesc Fabregas is thinking about the next step, right? Because coaches are always looking to take the next big step. And reports are stating that Cesc Fabregas, who has already rejected Bayer Leverkusen and Inter Milan, is thinking about either coaching Manchester City or FC Barcelona as his next targets. And of course, my question to you is, would you like to see Cesc Fabregas as a Barcelona coach? I mean, why not, right? I mean, after all, don't get me wrong, I'm very happy with Hansi Flick. I hope he stays for as long as we can have him. But of course, Hansi Flick has made it very clear that he doesn't like long projects, that eventually he wants to, spend some time with his grandkids. So he doesn't want to stay at Barcelona for too long. But, once he leaves, we do have, of course, to think about the next coach. And my question to you is, Cesc Fabregas, do you think that would be a good option for Barcelona once Flick decides to leave? Let me know down below in the comment section. Now, on to the next bit of news, because, ladies and gentlemen, Harry Kane trying to steal from Barcelona a defensive target, and it's no other than Marc Guehi. Now, as you know, Hansi Flick has communicated to Deco that he wants to reinforce 3 positions come this summer transfer market: center forward, the left wing, and of course the center back position. When it comes to the center back position, there are several targets that Barcelona are considering, Schlotterbeck being Hansi Flick's favorite option, but there's also the Marc Guehi option, because of course his contract expires in the summer. He's not planning to renew it with Crystal Palace, which means he will become a free agent. So even though, again, Marc Guehi not the favorite option, and also not really a left-footed center back, he still has to be considered, because he is a great center back. And of course, he will be free. By now, reports are stating that Harry Kane is working hard to convince Marc Guehi to join Bayern Munich. And in fact, they're saying that Harry Kane has already met with the player to try to convince him to join the Bundesliga club. Now, this is not the first time that Harry Kane is trying to to convince a player, or acting like a sporting director, because he did call up Eric Dyer, who was his former Tottenham colleague, and he convinced him to join Bayern Munich. So Harry Kane has already done this before. He's trying to do it with Marc Guéhi. We'll see whether it works or not. But again, just know that Kane trying to convince Guéhi to join Bayern Munich. Now, on to that next bit of news, because speaking of Bayern Munich, of course, we do have to talk about a former Bayern Munich player, Robert Lewandowski, whose contract is expiring at the end of the season. And with every passing day, there are more and more reports stating that Barcelona are not considering doing it. And I don't think they should. Don't get me wrong. I love Robert Lewandowski. I think it's been an absolute blessing that he joined the club. But nonetheless, it is time to move on. It is time to look for a younger center forward that can take his place. And now sources are stating that Saudi Arabia are still heavily consider Robert Lewandowski. Now, sources close to the Saudi Arabian fund, because if you don't know how signing works in Saudi Arabia, there is a fund that signs players, and then they distribute the players amongst their clubs. Crazy. But anyways, sources closest to this fund saying that Saudi Arabia are plotting moves to bring Rudiger, Alaba, and of course, Robert Lewandowski, with plans to offer any of these players a lot of money where they won't say no. And of course, we'll see whether Lewandowski agrees to go to Saudi or whether he'll end up somewhere else, or who knows, maybe he will end up hanging his boots. Now, speaking of Lewandowski, let's move on to the next bit of news, because we do have to talk about Fistnik Aslani, the player who's dubbed the new Robert Lewandowski. Of course, we've talked about Fistnik Aslani in the past videos. 23 years old, center forward, currently plowing his trade at Hoffenheim in the Bundesliga. So far, he has scored 5 goals and provided 2 assists in the Bundesliga. So this is just in the German league. And of course, he's been catching the attention of many European giants, including FC Barcelona, who are considering him as a possible replacement for Lewy. And of course, Fistnik Aslani does have a release clause worth 25 to 30 million euros, which means that he is an affordable option. He's also young, so this is kind of like a long or a future bet for Barcelona. But Fistnik was asked about, hey, Barcelona are interested in you. What do you think about that? And of course, what do you think about these other clubs also interested in you? And this is what Asllani had to say. Of course, I hear and read things like that. It's an honor, and I feel a little proud of it. But I'm focused on Hoffenheim, on the upcoming matches, weeks, and months. That's the most important thing for me. We'll see what happens in the end. Everything in its own time. Of course, I talk about the future with my family and closest friends. I'm not 18 anymore, and you start planning your career and your life. Thinking about how far I want to go and what I want. Getting to know myself and discovering what's important to me, what my priorities are. So, of course, Fistnik, giving kind of like a proper answer, like, yeah, I heard about it, but I'm focused on my current club. We'll see what happens. But reports stating that Fistnik, well, not reports, really, interviews that he's done, he has always said that he's a Barca fan, that his dream is to play for Barca. So I think if Barca do come knocking, he would agree to come to Barcelona. And again, with a 25 million euro release clause, I think that's a pretty affordable release clause. Of course, my only concern is he is 23, he's young, he's inexperienced, and I don't know if that's the right fit for the number 9 at Barcelona. But nonetheless, I want to hear you guys' thoughts and opinions. What do you think about Barcelona signing Fistnik Aslani to replace Lewandowski? Let me know down below in the comment section. Anyways, that is all the news for this video. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment, and as always, Ex-Barça.